My name is Louise Dawson, and I am thrilled to be here this afternoon and to bring to you Yvette Wilms. Hi, Yvette.
Hi, Louise. Lovely to see you again.
Yeah, it's good. It's not been a while, hasn't it?
It has been, yes, but the time is flying.
So you're here in the UAE, aren't you?
Yes, yeah. I am. Yes.
And you bring to us a program called Opti-Cards, which is a very interesting title. So can you tell me a little bit about Opti-Cards? Where does it come from? Who originated it? And a little bit about what it does.
Yes, of course. So the program was actually inspired by two moms that was looking for programs within schools and out of schools to support the specific learning needs that their children had, and they actually couldn't find something. So they started doing their own things, and then they met up with two other individuals that obviously had the necessary knowledge to take this program much further. So the program you see today is built on the science and the research of neuroplasticity that tells us that the brain actually can be trained and developed. And these two individuals looked at or focused all their attention on developing a program that is accessible, affordable, and have real results, always with the student in mind.
So who is it aimed at? Is it aimed at the neurodiverse community, or is it aimed at every child?
Well, that's what makes this program so accessible, is that it's aimed at any child, whether there's learning difficulties or just a need to boost learning in general, or it's even for our adults. So our programs address people or children from the age of 6 to 95. As we use this for children and adults, we go into the corporate with it as well. It is working with children. If you think about, we go to school, we've got extra lessons, we've got tutors that can help us with our schooling, but this program is not academic. It works on the underlying skills that we use to actually learn, to remember, to focus, to be able to process information. So literally our brain skills, or better known as cognitive skills, that makes learning easier. And that's why any person can really make use of this program.
So it's skill-based rather than academic knowledge-based.
Yes, yes. And the nice short story about that we always compare it to is, if you have to prepare for a race, you can watch as many videos as you want, read many books about races, how to dress, how to run, how to start, how to finish, but you actually need to start training. And that's the same with the brain. We can do as many tutoring or as many extra lessons if that's not the problem. If it's the actual brain skill itself, we need to start training that brain skill to work stronger and better in order to make learning easier.
So when you talk about brain skills, are you talking about things like memory, working memory, short-term memory, long-term memory?
Yes, I am. And I'm talking about attention, your focus, your spatial orientation, your perception, and auditory skills as well.
Okay. So do you baseline students when they come to you? Do you work out where their starting point is?
Yes, we ideally do a cognitive test that we can determine where the child is at and what specific cognitive elements or skills that individual is really struggling with. So that when we do decide on a program or make our recommendations, we can really build and accommodate those specific skills that needs extra and harder training, although we do train all the skills in a program.
Is the program completely online and led by the child, or do you work with them?
We work with them. It is online. It can be done in Centrum as well if it's chosen, but we just find that so many parents actually choose the online system. So it will be, normally our sessions are 70 minutes, of which 40 minutes is a live session with myself or any of our brain skills coaches, where we literally work with a child. We take them through the sessions, we drill the training with them. They normally have so much fun with it. And the nice thing about the live sessions is also we can give them that immediate feedback. Yes, it's right. Try harder, we can do more, and they can see for themselves how they're building and stepping the levels within the activities, and can see how they progress and how far they have come in their various sessions. And then the other part of the session is the 30-minute digital, which they are working on their own, but we do sit in with some sessions if they prefer, or we just monitor them at least to make sure that they're still getting the necessary practice in with the digital as well.
So the rewards are very instant and at the time and based on the progress that they're making at the time.
Yes, yes. We make sure they see how far they get with what they are busy with.
Awesome. So did you say earlier on that this program was in different languages?
We only do it at the moment in English and then in Afrikaans, as it also originated in South Africa. But the reason why we focus on English, especially in the UAE, is because that is such a strong language that everyone with all the big expat community is trying to learn. And because this is not an academic program, it's good to learn it in a language that might not be your first language, because it develops so many other areas of the brain and the brain skills as well. So it just adds to the challenge of the training.
Fabulous. And you said that it was affordable. So I think that you deliver it in packages, but each package, there's different types of packages depending on which package the parents want to buy into and which children. So it's very difficult to put a cost on this because you can tailor it to different families, and the payment structure, I believe, is different. But just very roughly, what would a session cost, and how often would you want them to deliver a session, and what does the package look like financially?
All right, well, we start off with our assessment, which is 500 dirham. The assessment includes a 45-minute consultation feedback session where we go through the whole report, explaining what is typically associated with the cognitive profile of that report, and we give our recommendations of the program. And as you mentioned, the program is then based on what the profile looks like. And when we say based on, it depends on the length of the program, what would be needed. Our shortest program is about 4.5 months, but it can stretch up to a year depending on the individual and also the needs of the parents. It depends if it's someone that wants to make a lifestyle out of it or just to address the developmental need. So we work on the basis that our programs are intense and they are very built to get this training done and get the brain ready. So we look ideally at 3 sessions per week. And as I explained earlier, the sessions are 70-minute sessions. So roughly it comes down to 200 dirhams per hour, the program in its totality. But we are very flexible in how we put it together and payment arrangements, etc.
And so if people were interested and wanted to learn a bit more or get in contact with you, I understand that you have a website.
Yes, we do. It's www.opti-cards.com, or they can reach me on email. That's Yvette, YVETTE, at opti-cards.com.
Thanks very much for sharing it with me. I have had a look at it. I do think it has a place and a value for a lot of children, and I hope that someone will connect with you and their own child has success as well. Thanks very much for your time, Yvette.